Okay, today I wanted to show you the site history tool in Wix. This website you were editing and it got all messed up. This is actually a header that got duplicated, it looks like several times. The text got pushed way off the side of the screen and it's duplicated several times. It's such a mess that I think I'm just going to use the site history tool. So I wanted to show you where that is. It's under Site in your editor, and then go to Site History. That's going to launch this new window, and you'll see here over here the Site History revisions, and it saves a copy of every saved or published version of your of the editor. So it's a nice feature here. So I'm actually going to close out of this one and redo this just to make sure I'm getting the latest, greatest version of it. So we're going to go to Site History. This pops up the new window. And then you're going to see all the saved revisions over here. I started messing around with it and it was so messed up. I'm like, I just need to go back in time. So you'll see the last one you published was last night at 5:33. You can click here on view. This little arrow will view it, and sometimes it takes a second to load. But it'll show you what it looks like. Well, this one is still bad. I went through all these times, and because it does save, every time you're making edits, it saves along the way. And I found that it seemed like it was not totally broken. I think right around here, SEP 242. So let's look at this one. Now you did make some other edits since then, but that's when I think it got messed up at this one, 249, I think. Let's check. Yes, so that's when it started getting messed up. Although the header's still there, but this got there and the text got moved over and it might still be duplicated. So I'm just going to go back to this one. And now what I can do is hit restore. But I want to make sure that this one's okay with you to restore. If you made any other text edits in the time past 2:42 yesterday afternoon, those text edits will need to be made again. And that said, we may want to do a training to get you versed on how to make edits to this. That way you don't accidentally do what happened yesterday, which is, I'm not even really sure. I think it was just the header got enlarged quite a bit. You must have moved a picture into it, and then it moved all the text over and it got duplicated several times. So anyway, it would probably be better to either have me do the changes, or we can do a training where I show you how to make changes so that you can do them more successfully. And I especially wanted to show you this because if you ever run into this problem, this is how you can get back, undo everything you did. You can also use your undo on your keyboard. And there's an undo at the top of the editor screen up here. So if you make mistakes, you can undo and go backwards. You just kind of have to know where you are in those undos. So what's nice is it does have the site history, which is located again under site history. That pops up a new window, and then you're going to want to scroll down and find that 242 one yesterday and restore that if that's the one you want. I just didn't want to do that because anything that you've done since then will be lost, and I wasn't sure if you wanted to look at what you have first. Maybe not, but this is where you do it. So go ahead and go into your editor, click on that site history, and then once it loads, you want to scroll down to the 242, the second one, and you can restore this, and that will restore it to what it looked like before. And then if you want to make changes going forward, let's set up a time in the next week or two to do either a training or just send me the changes you have and I can make the changes for you, whatever you prefer. But we can make sure that we don't run into this kind of problem again and everything's legible and nothing gets pushed off to the side of the screen or gets super enlarged, those kinds of things. So anyway, feel free to do this. I'm going to be out for the rest of the day in meetings. So if you want to restore this just to get it back to where it was, then maybe we can set up a time, like I said, next week or the following week to go over. Next week's a little bit tied up for me, so probably the following week we can go over how to edit this, or as I mentioned, you could also send me the edits and I can help with that. So I'm going to leave it at this. I'm not going to save that. I'm going to leave it here. So you just want to go into your editor and then go to Site, site history to pop that up. And one thing to note is then if you decide to restore it, you'll want to close this window. When you restore it, it's going to ask you if you want to edit the site. And when you click on that, it's going to pop up another new window with the editor. And this editor window oftentimes will say that you need to close it because there's another window open with a newer version or something like that. So once you've restored it, make sure you close out of the original editor window because you want to make sure you're editing the most recent version and not the old version that was before the restoration. So those are my tips for using site history. Let me know if you need any help.